Okay. Now, to answer that question, again, you speak about mentors. Always remember this. Listen to your elders. Particularly those who've been around and been consistent working. There's a reason for that. They must know something. They must be doing something right. And if you want to get there, you better listen to how they do it. So, my father told me, he said, you know, when you're playing with Ben Webster, he was laid back. And what you do is, and when this same question came up when I was with him, he said, by the way, my father was Ben Thigpen, and I mentioned that because a lot of people, he was a great drummer. And before I go any further, I want, is that who I think is in the back? Yep. Another mentor. Here we go. Time, pulse, heartbeat. We started with this, right? You notice I didn't start playing right away. That's another thing. He didn't kick off a tempo. So, you listen to see where he is. Within, sometimes it's on upbeat, you listen to see where he is. You have to also know that generally, and particularly it's easy with great players, because they know what they're going to do. You know, and you're still an accompanist. Time, where is his time? Where is his time feel? He's a soloist, where is his time feel? He says so-and-so, okay, once I lock in that, he'll tell you right away by the way he plays it, he's in it, on back of it, whatever. That's established before he starts going, he's not going to start out like, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be right where he basically wants it, hopefully, right? So you lock into that. Once that's set, this. By the way, maybe today they say kick drum. I don't kick this drum.
All right.
Play it in this style of music. Okay? You play it. It's a pulse. And a pulse, as we talked about before, is felt rather than heard. So, once that's established, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's there. And you breathe. Get comfortable back to the position of the foot so you're comfortable and let it stay right there. So no matter what happens, interpretation, it's a trick of feel. Cha, 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 cha. Every one of those are 3 notes. La, da, 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 da. Stress point of the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, right? Here, 1, 2, 3. Now wherever he goes, on top, that's going to be there. He has the liberty to do whatever he wants with it, but he needs to feel secure that he can play with it. If you're running back and forth, you give him no foundation, nothing. It's like a foundation, you give him nothing to build on, to play with. So it's like a house. Now they make earthquake things so that they flex up here, but the foundation is always sturdy. You know? So you lay there. Now, before finish, if he's laying back, so he's playing in tempo. Now my time first starts out here. Now if he wants to lay way back over. You breathe on top, so it's 2 layers. So again, we talk about many pulses, and that upper part can be many pulses, back and forth, up and back, so you do that type of thing. Okay? Yeah, yes.
The bass player, what does he do in all this? Does he stay on the
Time. Time and bass line. Harmonic. It's a bass player, not a cello player. Bass notes. You know, foundation is always good. After you get a foundation, then you can play around. What is the function of the bass player? To lock in both the bass player and the bass and the drummer, time-wise, here. His function harmonically is to give that. He doesn't play the bass note of the chord. He's relying on the bass player to give those notes. primarily, so they know where they are. Harmonically, you know, as the changes go by. Okay. The other thing I want to stress here now, and today I've had bass. You have some after bebop. This misconception about the bass drum. And swing, if you're going to play with a big band, you better know how to play the stuff. You cannot hold you can't hold a band together with this. Another thing, we had published Kenny Clark. They said, how many of you read or heard that Kenny Clark took the time from the bass drum and put it to the right zone? You have. Anybody else hear that? Okay. Wrong. And it's documented, I have it on tape, and we published it in Modern Drum. So it gets straight. He didn't do that. He took it from the snare drum. Because before you had press rolls and stuff, and space. The bass drum is the pulse. In contemporary, you don't need it all the time, because styles change. You don't need it all the time. But in certain types of treatments, if you don't play the bass drum, he's going to look at you funny. There's certain players rely on that. It's like we play composers. If you're going to play Ellington, for instance, I don't care if it's a trio or a big band, you have to hear Louis with the band, you have to hear all these people, the sound of that orchestra, because that sound is indicative to the music. And that bottom is there. Now before, when I played, by the way, you said I feel this pulse all the time. I'm able to transfer that. I can sit and say, you start patting your foot. But if you don't know how it feels to pat your foot, you can't transfer it because you don't know what it feels like. You understand? So the idea is to be able to do it. Then you have an alternative. You have a choice. Okay? Now, yes?
Yeah, comment with a bass player playing. As a trumpet player, the worst feeling in the world is when the bass player is playing someplace completely different than the drum. You want to give me heart failure when that happens, and if the tempo was fast. If the drum is playing, there's one of these drummers that like to play on top of the beat, you get a bass player that's playing behind the beat. You have a big gap. And what David's talking about, pulse, is not there.
And the only way you're going to fix that is that the section talks. You know, you verbally have to speak and find out how you want to treat the music.
Do you feel that a bass player should ever play on the beat?
I beg your pardon?
Do you feel a bass player should ever play on top of the beat?
No, you didn't hear me. I said you're a team.
Yeah.
You have to decide how you want to treat this. How you want to treat each piece. You talk about it. How we're going to treat the piece. It's part of structure. How we're going to treat it.
Awareness.
You know, being aware. If you're going to a session type of thing, you know, you have to, like when you say, leave the ego out here, let the music function. Most of the time, good music will play itself if you just allow it and allow the guys to do what they have to do. But always know what your basic thing is. Once you have that, you know, you can't play the solos thing. Let him do his thing. Once he's comfortable, again, my mentor said, if you play some good time for a guy, man, he'll play his heart out. You got the best seat in the house. He'll be entertaining you all night long. Okay.
And don't copy my figures when I play them, please. My melodic figures.
All right. But you have to talk about that. By the same token, interplay, you know, where you have this interaction. But it must be comfortable. You got to know what people are doing. Our job is to swing, and then when it's comfortable, then you can start taking your chances with this young.
What adjustments, if any, do you make playing with an acoustic bass player versus an electric?
Well, you know, we have two different instruments, number one. And that will happen if you think acoustically, number one, you know, dynamically, depending on, the big thing I have is how to get, again, style. Because style of music has a great deal to do it. Playing with an electric bass player who doesn't know anything about acoustic is different. You play with an acoustic bass player who has an electric bass player who has acoustic experience. Again, we're talking about time, you can almost transfer, hopefully, that feel. You can't transfer the sound, you can transfer that feel. You know. Yes.
Will you play some more for us?
Yes.
How do you fix a student who's tends to drag when he's playing the bass drum on all fours?
Huh?
How
How you fix it?
do you, yeah.
Come down to the booth. I have a book. I have a sister that'll lock it and fix it. That'll fix it. It's again about. Oh, thank you, Alvin. Where you go? We still didn't get to brushes, so come back to the booth, and we're out of time, I think. I'm sorry, like I said, but I asked for it. You kept asking questions, so that's. I hope they were answered, well, and I hope everybody's, yes.
Come back to where? Come back to
I said, come down to the booth and we'll talk about this.
exhibit.
All right.